Ryoeri, Tori, both lapel, hold or break. This is where someone's coming up, grabbing both of your lapels, and usually they're trying to move you, pushing you, pulling you, maybe both, maybe even trying to pick you up. My first instinct whenever someone's grabbing me should be to sink. So someone's grabbing me, immediately getting low, getting my base lower, making it harder for them to move me, getting my hips under their hips. As I'm dropping, I'm going to grab from underneath straight up one of the wrists. Doesn't matter too much which side. The only reason what will matter is maybe you only have one hand, or maybe there's multiple attackers, and once you have the lock, it will depend which side you want to lock, depending on where the other people are standing. But theoretically, you can grab either hand and it won't matter. Practice both sides. Sinking, grabbing, then I'm going to hit the other hand with my knuckles. They're holding, I'm just hitting the back of the hand as hard as I can with those knuckles to loosen the grip. Sink and grab and hit. The hand that's hitting, I'm going to reach all the way over and grab the back side of the wrist, on the back side of the hand, the pinky side of the hand. Sink and grab, hit, reaching all the way over. Now the problem I see here is people often get that much done and then they try to muscle that wrist all the way over 180 degrees. Unrealistic. We get away with it in class sometimes if there's not resistance or not full resistance, but this is what requires some dynamic motion. As I sink and grab, hit, when I reach for it, I'm also going to step in that direction. I'm going to extend their arm and weaken it. And then the other leg, once I grab a hold with both hands, it's going to circle out of the way. So I'm creating space to turn that hand over and giving my whole body torquing to help turn that wrist over. To help practice this and to demonstrate, I've got a belt, tie 2 sticks to it, put a knot on each end, one to hold it in the door, one for the wrist, upper arm, lower arm, elbow joint, and wrist joint. They're grabbing me, sink and grab, hit, reach over and step to the outside, and then circling to turn the wrist all the way over. From here, I'm holding on to the hand with my wrist, with my hands, leaning into the wrist in its vulnerable position to damage the wrist. Another mistake I often see people make is once they've done everything right, they've got the wrist, they've got it set up, they're here and they're trying to break the wrist with just both hands. Sure, I have 2 of my hands against one of somebody else's and their wrist is in a vulnerable position, but I'm still using too much muscle. My hands aren't to break the wrist, my hands are to lock the wrist to my body, and my body do the break. Leaning into that wrist is what's going to create the damage. Just like when I'm throwing someone, if I have my hands on their gi, I'm not necessarily throwing them with my hands, I'm locking them to me with my hands, and then my body is throwing them. Same idea, except I'm just attacking a small point here at the wrist. I'm grabbing my lapel, sinking and grabbing the wrist, hit, stepping towards the side I'm holding, circling out of the way to turn the wrist over, reinforce, and leaning forward. My variation starts the same way. They're grabbing with both lapels. And all I'm going to do, again, I'm sinking. As I sink, I'm going to grab my own lapels, both above their hands, and slide down. They're grabbing me. I grab above. I slide down. I'm hitting that thumb to release it and to get underneath of it. And then I'm going to move the thumb in the direction it naturally moves as far as it will go, continue moving it, and then pull it out away from the fingers. And I'm doing both at the same time. So I'm sinking and grabbing my lapels, sliding down to grab the thumbs, pulling them out and breaking. And at the same time, I'm going to knee them in the groin, or bladder, lower intestines. They grab me, sink and grab, break the thumbs and knee. That breaking motion is my counter pressure to help set up the knee. Throwing the knee is also putting more pressure into the break. Again, I just need to grab the thumbs. Don't feel like I need to try to muscle them by breaking the thumbs, although I probably could. Once I've got the nice lock, that kneeing motion is going to help break the thumbs and, of course, give you some more damage here. Like to practice this ball. Sink and break. Sink and break. Sink and break. Take and break. Good luck practicing Ryoeri, Tori at home.